Okay, welcome back. We are at Tiffany's again. We are done. We are completely done. We are ready for reveal. So come with me. We're going to go in. We're going to get Tiffany's reaction. We are going to show you all the things, and we're going to talk about what we spent money on, what we saved money on, and how we put this whole thing together.
Hey everyone, I'm Kristen DeBacco and I own Jacksonville Organizer here in Northeast Florida. And I am a certified professional organizer. So basically what that means is I work with my clients, all walks of life, young and old, and we work through their stuff. We work through what their goals are, like how do you want your space to feel? How do you want your space to look? And what's holding you back? So then we help them. We go through every single item. We pull it all out and we sort through it. So it's so much easier for a client to see all of their papers grouped together, all of their dog medicine grouped together, and then they can make decisions from there instead of having it all spread out. And so once we've sorted it, then we'll talk about how it's easy to retrieve items. Sometimes people need clear bins, right? If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And sometimes clients are great, like I don't want to see any of it, just put a label on it and I know where it's at. So we'll talk through all of those things and then we organize it and make it pretty. Okay, so in this space, what we wanted to focus on was really making it aesthetically pleasing. This is an extension of the room. And so she had these bifold doors. Again, we all have them, the annoying ones, and they hinder us from getting into our space. So we decided to take them off and really go in with a bang on the bins. What's great about this is they are so inexpensive and functional at the same time. So IKEA came in for the win. We had a little bit of Target in here as well. Everything is labeled, which is great. We used a P-Touch label maker and they're just stickers that go on there. We also use label clips. So she's able to see what's inside of everything if it's not an open lid. The other part is we did do some bins that were open and easy to access. And we do that for things that you're getting in and out of all the time. You don't want to take a lid off and put it back on. It's kind of a pain. So note that there's some of those here. And then we sprinkled some of her special items in the space. Again, it's an extension of this room and the design of it. So we were able to showcase those. Okay, my favorite part. All right, so we got these acrylic bins from Target. Basically, she loves to get her nails done, but takes the different polishes and dips to the studio. So we were able to separate out each type of nail polish, and all she has to do is grab the tray, pull it out, and she can find what she wants. Come here, the zoomies, go. Talk to me.
Talk to me.
I love this.
Okay, first of all, I want to talk about how this, like the natural intersection between design and organizing is one thing, but I love how this came to be. So I mentioned earlier that, we called in Kristen, I met her in our local moms group that Tiffany and I are in. That's how we network these days. And we were in the WhatsApp chat.
Yep.
And it was like this FOMO moment of what's going on over there? And I'm like, what are you doing this weekend? Yeah. Because at that point I knew we were in for it if we were going to kind of try to tackle the closet. We were way over our heads.
Wave the white flags. I was like, I want to be part of this.
Yes. This is fun. Yeah. And I am such a believer in that, you go in a direction, and if it's the right direction, that things just open up and they happen. And that's exactly what happened here. It was literally 2 days before. I'm like, what are you doing this weekend? And you're like, well, I was supposed to have family. Now we're not having family. So here we are. Yeah. And I love this because this is a beautiful example of the intersection between design and organizing. Yeah. Because it's this, we could have just closed the doors. Yeah. But if we leave the doors on, we have to cut the shelves back. If we take the doors off, the shelves fit perfectly, then this becomes something to display. Yeah. We strolled to IKEA at 8 o'clock on whatever night that was, and look at the beautiful bins that we found that work. It could not have rolled more perfectly. And I think a lot of times clients overlook spending money on this service because they don't think that it makes a difference, right? When in reality, it's the difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and you could have come in and said like, okay, we're not going to tackle this at all, but she was able to walk into this space.
Yeah.
And everything that was in this space, it's here. Nothing's
It's
left.
here.
Like we were able to like group like with like. And the nice part about that is as she goes through and she sees it all, now she can edit. Now she can say, oh wait, showcasing this, like I really don't love it like I used to love it. So let me eliminate
and
this.
the piece that's hard to explain through a screen is the energy.
Oh,
like
gosh.
it's palpable how different it feels, and you felt it when you came in here the first day versus what it feels like now. And things like books, like they carry energy, and even the small decor pieces and the crystals, that's their job. So they are like, this is like getting things out so they can breathe, and just simply the act of like having things tucked away to quote unquote deal with later or not think about. They're still taking up real estate in your brain. Like, and so if you're in a creative career like Tiffany is, you don't need that taking up real estate in your brain.
No, it needs to be.
Yes.
Like when you have relationships built, or I'm just telling you what she's
Somebody that's as bossy as me. This is good.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. So this was a really great collaboration for a number of reasons. And I, at one point, thought I could do everything and all of the things. And I, am at this point in my life, career, whatever, where I know that I can't. And it's like, bring in the people that are experts at what they do to do the things. And it's so great. Like relationships and collaborations are one of the pillars or the cornerstones of my business. And because this business is very saturated, relationships are important, word of mouth is important, and experience. So the client experience and the people that we work with in the industry is so, so, so important. And that's what sets you apart from others. And that's what honestly keeps you busy and keeps the jobs coming in and just keeps that energy exchange going. And so I was so jazzed when Kristen was like, yeah, I'm coming. I'm not missing this. Jazzed, that's a word.
It's good. You're just doing it. Excited. Well, and I think it makes the entire experience, not just for you, not just for, the different associates and businesses, but for the client. For them to be able to feel like, oh my gosh, they truly enjoy each other and enjoy the business. Like I would much rather support that. And
because it's just like this space was before it was overhauled. There's an energy there and you can feel it, right? And you're gonna, when you come from this place of this connection and this relationship and collaboration that's joy-filled and the energy is really great, that's what you're gonna attract, right? Rather than the opposite. And that is why I believe that we had not one hiccup in this entire weekend. And that is unheard of. Like not one.
We even had Eric from Instacart rolling in with like, it was a
hot tip. If you need things from Target that are not food, you go on Instacart and you make a food order and then you nice talk your driver to pick up the things that are not food.
It's a big shout out for you.
Yeah, Eric. room. I'm going to hide out in here, call her in so that we can get her true unfiltered reaction if I know her like I think I do. There will be some tears. You will probably hear me sniffling. So yeah, let's check it out.
God, it's like a boutique in here. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Like I want to like shop. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. Oh, this makes a lot more sense. Oh wow. Oh my God, these are wow. Okay. Oh wow, this is cool. Oh my God, these are so pretty. Oh my God, the closet looks so amazing. What? I don't even want to like walk on the rug. Oh wow. Holy cow.
Everything's sorted and labeled, and yeah.
Everything is awesome. You did my nail polishes?
Well, I didn't do your nail polishes.
Oh my God.
We brought in Kristen, and her team did the closet.
I feel like I'm going to be discovering everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like every day. Wow. Wow. Oh. Thank you. This is really beautiful. So this room now kind of feels like all of my inner children are really happy because all of my stuff is out on display and I can see it, and then I don't have to, you know, because I would like to go shopping, and then I don't have to get things that I can see, right? Because I do create a lot of jewelry, having it on display where I can see it is very helpful. And then it's also easier to stage photographs, and which is something I really enjoy doing, and having a really interesting background for my pictures and my items that I post on the website or post on Instagram. And it also is great to have different areas that I can stage the pictures in, right? So I can like put it up against a crystal, or I have it on a jewelry display, or even sometimes I will post things with greenery behind it, and having all my books and stuff like that is helpful for that, as well as I noticed that when all of this was finished, everything was kind of like grouped by color, which is also kind of helpful too, because then if I make something that has a certain color in it, I will just kind of either pull something down and stage it. I feel very peaceful. It really does feel like a warm hug. It's a sanctuary, and it has definitely opened up my creative flow just in the past few days, even between writing and also ideas that are coming through for different jewelry pieces that will be added to the spring line.
Were you texting each other?
No.
Okay, so now that she has seen it, of course, it's always overwhelming. And this is a busy space. So coming in and taking in all of the things and noticing the little details, it takes a bit, but we are so proud of how this space came out. And the number one question I get always when we showcase a project is, okay, like, but how much did it cost? Where did you get this? Where did you, what did you keep? Did you just throw everything out? And the answer to that is every space is different. But what I want to do, one of the aims with this kind of series and why we're doing this, is to show you how accessible pieces are, and that every space is broken up into different priorities. So I want to start with, what did we keep in this space? We kept Tiffany's desk and her chair because they were perfect. She told me I could not paint the walls because she loved the color of them. And that in itself was the jumping off point for this room, because I had my one thing. In every space, there's always one thing that serves as kind of your like place that you circle back to. And this raspberry is not for the faint of heart. It's also not something that I would term a neutral. So what I wanted to do was make sure that we weren't in bubblegum pink land. And how do you tone down bubblegum pink? Deep green. So I went on the hunt for this, this was in my head before I knew this existed in real life. I wanted plush. I wanted deep, deep, deep olive. I wanted something super comfortable because, let's be honest, I'm here often and this is where I will sit. And this chaise was what I would call a splurge item for her. It's from one of my furniture vendors from Four Hands Furniture. They're one of my favorite places to order from, and it's stunning. So this was a splurge. This rug that is beneath the shade is also a splurge. It's from Loloi. It is beautiful, and it ties in that raspberry pink, our olive green, and it's got golds and oranges and this beautiful rich jewel tone palette that takes this space from leaning juvenile into super, super high-end and plush, and just, it's so high frequency being in this space. It's just beautiful. The shelves that everyone is all up in our DMs on Instagram going gaga over, you guys, this wall was less than $700 for the entire wall. And I had been all over the internet. I was, on Rejuvenation. I was looking at getting something custom made, and we were into the like 2,000 and 3,000s. These are walnut shelves from IKEA. We did the narrow depth, the bottom we did wider, and we got these beautiful brass, say that 3 times fast, beautiful brass brackets from Home Depot. And they were $20 for a pair. So like this wall, such high impact for such low cost. And what I want the takeaway from this to be is when you have decor and a lot of it in a space, let that come through. What it's on doesn't need to be the star of the show. So we knew what we were working with. We knew we had crystals and books, and Tiffany's, this is her style, is this kind of maximalist, everything on display. And so we wanted to create shelves that looked great, but they didn't need to cost a whole bunch. And in that same vein of toning down the pink, that's why we went with the walnut, because it brings in a richness rather than doing a light or a white or, even a glass shelf. The wood is integral in warming that up. And so that wall, super inexpensive. Our decor budget was almost nothing because what Tiffany does in her jewelry business is our decor. And the other pieces that we had to buy, they were few. Are we good without a light?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
We needed storage. So if you make jewelry, if you craft, if you, have a hobby that has small parts, you know that oftentimes the creative process is hard to get into when things are in disarray or they're unorganized or they're a mess. And we wanted to give Tiffany something where she could see all of her stock of her beads at any given time and know what she had. And she could, if she's inspired to make something, she's not losing creative momentum because she's looking for her beads. So again, super inexpensive. We went to IKEA, we grabbed 2 Billy bookcases, and we did the door that has the glass on the top and the solid on the bottom. So those bottom cabinets are loaded with all of her beads in organized containers, and the top is display for her pieces. So if she has somebody come over to shop, if she's going to do a market, she takes her display pieces down and off she goes. So super functional, looks great, but didn't break the bank. So that's super important to highlight because everybody thinks that, you have to have a super high budget to get a look that feels high end. You don't. You just have to be smart about where you spend. So our spends were the chaise, the rug, and things like the curtains and a few throw pillows, but those weren't expensive. And everything else came together so beautifully. So it's all about just understanding where do you want to take this and outlining clearly what is my budget, because I guarantee you'll be able to work in that. So the last piece that was kind of actually a wild card that we didn't plan for, that would have been kind of biting off way more than we could chew in the 2 days that we took to put this room together, was the closet. So a lot of the books that were in the closet are actually out on the shelves now, and there were some beautiful pieces in there hiding that we were able to take out. But then we were toying with, do we take the doors off? Do we leave the doors on and just have it closed? And that didn't feel good because that was creating this same energy of, just like closing the door, but it's still cluttered behind there, right? And so we enlisted the help of a friend of ours, Kristen, and her organizing business, and they set to work on this part of the room while we dealt with all the rest.
Goodbyes are awkward.
I finally stopped crying.
I can make a start again.
How many different ways can you say goodbye? Like, it's so awkward. What do you say? Catch you on the next one? Like,
Well, yeah,
you need your signature.
to avoid having to talk.
I'll cut to a ditty.
You're right. Thanks for following along. This was so fun. I would like to say there will be more, but not like this because there's only one Tiffany. So, yeah, I don't know. Bye.